Did you know that Canada only represents about 2% of the global economy? That's one of the biggest reasons why it's important for us Canadians to diversify our investments outside of Canada. One of the most common ways for Canadian investors to diversify outside of Canada is to invest in the United States, the home of arguably the best multinational companies in the world. And my favorite cost-efficient way to get this done is to buy an S&P 500 indexed ETF. An ETF, or exchange traded fund, allows you to buy a piece of multiple companies with one single share. ETFs are great because they're lower in fees and higher in liquidity, which means that you can buy and sell them with ease. You can buy and sell them with ease because they're funds that trade on an exchange, so they function very similar to stocks. Now, if you don't already know, the S&P 500 is an index of the 500 largest companies in the United States, the majority of which you frequently shop at or whose products you own or use on a regular basis. I prefer an ETF like VFV to traditional index funds and mutual funds simply because I pay less in fees. I can also purchase it on my own from home in my self-directed TFSA, RRSP, or FHSA. And I can purchase it through a commission-free trading platform such as Wealthsimple. So there are actually multiple ETFs that track the S&P 500 index in some way, shape, or form. So why do I choose VFV? So the first thing is, like many of you probably, I don't have US dollars sitting in my bank account. I want to get exposure to the US economy with my Canadian dollars. And I can do that through VFV, which I can purchase with my Canadian dollars. So if you're completely new to investing, the S&P 500, or the bulk of the American economy, provides you exposure to multiple different industries. It gives you exposure to technology, financials, healthcare, consumer discretionary, communication, industrials, consumer staples, energy, real estate, materials, and utilities. In comparison, in Canada, our economy is mainly focused on financials and energy. So now let's talk about fees. So when you invest in a mutual fund or some other fund, you're looking at probably fees from 0.25% all the way up to over 2%, depending on if it's actively managed or not. So me personally, and this might not work for everybody, but I prefer to cut out the middleman just because of my ability to do it myself and for my lack of willingness to pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees over my lifetime. So I chose VFV because it has low MERs, or management expense ratios, or you can just refer to them as fees for short, of 0.09%. You can compare that to the lowest mutual fund of 0.25%. You can already tell that 0.09% is actually a fraction of a mutual fund. So now let's talk about performance. So VFV's inception date was in 2012. Since then, VFV has provided a return of 398%. So let's just round up to 400% to keep it simple. That's a return of 5 times your money. If you invested $10,000 in 2012, today you would have $50,000. Or if you invested $100,000 in 2012, you would have $500,000 today. The next thing I want to talk about is dividends. When you invest in VFV, you're not really primarily focused on dividends. I like to think of investing as when you're younger, you want to focus on growth. When you're older, you focus on fixed income. But VFV has something for everyone because it also pays out a dividend at a 1% yield quarterly. And the last thing I want to talk about is Wealthsimple. So we're fortunate enough to live in a day and age where we have commission-free trading platforms like Wealthsimple that allow us to access the stock market from the comfort of our phones. And I love the fact that I can purchase a share in as little as a few seconds. As I mentioned in previous videos, I can even automate it so that I don't even have to take out my phone and dollar cost average into VFV. That's also a plus. So in a nutshell, I love VFV because it gives me exposure and allows me to invest in the best companies in the world with my Canadian dollars. If you don't already have a Wealthsimple account and want to get started on your investing journey, you can sign up with my referral link below. You'll get $25 when you make your first deposit, and it'll also help out the channel. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.